So this morning's class, basic setup number 4, we're going to be going over dashboard setup. Now, the dashboard is, in the most simplest terms, really what we see, on the desktop program, on the web portal, as far as certain schedules go. And to illustrate my point, before we get into actually putting it in, I'm just going to show you using a database already populated, really what the dashboard consists of. So I'm logged in. This big chunk of real estate on this screen right here, this is the dashboard. Now the dashboard is composed of tiles and tabs. Now a tile is really just what this big screen is right here. Now you'll notice it's almost composed of little windows. Each window right here is a tile, and a tile is just showing information pertaining to whether the shift or the group that we tell it to. And then down here are tabs. And then, tabs are just a way to organize what tiles we're showing. So for instance, I have right now, I'm on my daily schedule tab. So now this tab is showing my, daily schedule for each shift I tell it to. And then my weekly schedule tab is showing the weekly schedule for my entire department. We have a monthly schedule tab. And it's showing one tile. You'll notice that as we move along, the daily schedule is really the only tab with multiple tiles, whereas the weekly schedule is just one weekly schedule tile. Same thing with monthly schedule. We even have an employee-specific monthly calendar, so we could just select the specific person we want to see and pull up their monthly calendar. We also have a yearly schedule, which, for obvious reasons, we don't want to show everyone's yearly schedule. That'll take forever to load. So it's employee specific, and we can see what they're working for each day of the month throughout the year. So so far so good as far as tiles and tabs and what the dashboard consists of. And then also, the next part of what we're going to be going over today is called a web dashboard. Now, a web dashboard is a little different. All a web dashboard really is, and I'm pulling up this database's web portal. This is a web dashboard. It's pretty much just a daily schedule for the web side of the system. So it's just going to show you, who's working for each shift throughout the day. We can have multiple pages. We can have multiple profiles. So you'll see right here I have a default profile, a patrol profile, a VCS profile, and we could have multiple pages. And we're gonna go over kind of how to create all this. So on the desktop, the dashboard is composed of a lot of things. And now, you can add tiles, like a daily roster, open shifts, daily details, all kinds of things. I'm going to show you the basics today, how to put in, a daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly schedule, because you at least need that, right? Everything else you can kind of play around with, and I'll show you how to do that. But on the web portal, it's really just how do we want the daily schedule to show up. So now, first thing we need to do, we need to put the screen in what I like to call edit mode. That allows us to add, remove, update, tiles and tabs within the dashboard. So up here we see where it says profile and we have a drop down. You can create multiple dashboards if you want to do it like by department. one dashboard per department, and each dashboard kind of only shows tiles pertaining to that, group of employees or department, however you guys, do it. So like here you see I have a police department schedule profile, a records profile, a template profile. So I'm just going to start from scratch. When I click edit mode, you'll notice my screen turns blue. That means that, everything in the screen is ready to be, customized pretty much. And we get this little pop-up window or menu right here. This is our main menu when it comes to, designing the screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove this profile and start from scratch. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to click Add Profile. It's kind of like Create New. I'm just going to call it Template Dashboard. So now, let me click Save and Exit. So now this is my brand new dashboard. It's empty. There's no tabs. There's nothing within this default tab. So we're going to start putting some stuff in. So using this main screen designer, I can, create new tabs. I can edit the name of the tabs, which I'm going to do right now. So right now I have a default tab. I want to edit it to say, daily schedule. Now this is now it's my daily schedule tab. And now we're going to actually put some tiles into this daily schedule. And like I said, every other tile that we put in today, it pertains to the whole, department, whereas a daily schedule is really shift specific. Right? So if you have a day shift and a night shift, those are two separate daily schedule tiles. But before we actually do that, I do want to go over what these buttons mean. And if you have the guide out in front of you, you can just follow along. Pretty much this green button to the top left, it opens the tile catalog, so you can add a tile into this block of space right here. Pretty much if you don't have a tile already in here, use this button to put one in. All right. Now, if you already have a tile in here, this button won't be grayed out anymore. It'll be lit up. It's grayed out right now because we don't currently have a tile in there. But this is an edit button. This allows us to edit the tile that's already in here. Now these two buttons in the middle, this is if we wanted to split this tile horizontally, if we want to split it vertically. Pretty much you have one big tile, and if you want to put multiple tiles in there, you just split it into smaller sections. Last, we have this button right here. Once again, there's nothing in it, so it's not lit up. But this is to delete or remove information from a tile. So let's go ahead and put in a daily schedule tile. So I click the Add a Tile button. Now it opens up this tile catalog. This list right here are all the tiles that we can select from. Now, like I said, there's a lot of stuff you can do with this. I'm only going to show you the basics, but after this class, you should have the know-how to, if you want to put in a, time off tab or, an overtime tab, things like that, you'll know how to do it. So I'm going to find daily schedule, which is right here. Now I click on it, and now we get some stuff over here. This middle section is just showing us a preview of what this tile will look like based on our settings, which can be found on the right. So keep in mind what I'm showing you here. These are the recommended settings, right? And if this is your first time doing this, I would strongly suggest that you follow the settings I'm putting in here. So what we're going to do first is set a timer. Now we do that by clicking the checkbox. or next to use timer. Now what this is doing is, the screen, whenever we change information in the screen, it refreshes itself automatically. However, we can set like an automatic refresh, for a certain amount of seconds or minutes. After, say, 5 minutes, the screen refreshes itself and adds any new information or edits any information that's been changed since. So we want to click the box Use Timer and set the update rate for 300 seconds, 5 minutes, which means every 5 minutes the system is going to refresh itself, or the screen will refresh itself. Like I said, if we move someone from day shift to night shift or took someone off the schedule, those changes happen immediately. This is just kind of like a background refresh. And then if we want to, we can put a title for that screen in there, but we don't need to because it's going to show us the shift name based on what we select. So we're just going to skip right on down to the middle. Now here's a list of all the shifts in my system. So I just check the box next to the shift I want to show. Like I said, each tile can only show one shift at a time. So we'll keep it simple. I'll just do Patrol Day Shift right here. I'm going to check the box. This Days Future and Days Past is asking, if we want to see any day besides today. But leaving it set to 0 and 0 is going to show us the current day, which is what we want on a daily schedule. And then next, we want to check the box for Show Active Employees Only. That means that when someone's marked inactive, they will no longer show up on the schedule. Also, we're going to check Show Denied Time Off, meaning, if anyone put in for time and they were denied, we'll be able to see that denial so we know that they're coming into work. And for now, the only other things I'm going to recommend we check are the Show Times Off button, which means that if someone were to take partial time off, we see the exact hours that that person is not working. And then if you put in any scheduled details, we can also tell the screen, which details to show. Whether it's car assignments, radio assignments, anything like that, anything we might possibly want to show, we just check the boxes. Now, if I click Apply, this is showing a preview of what that looks like. And then to actually put it in, we're going to click Apply and Use. So now it's in there. I'm just going to save it and exit. So now this daily schedule is only showing this one shift right here. Obviously, we need more, right? So I'm going to edit it again. Now you'll notice that once this button is now lit up, we can edit this Patrol Day Shift tile. We can delete it. We can split it, but now we have 4 more options. This just means it's the same thing, split horizontally, split vertically. Except now, because we have a tile with information in there, it's saying, okay, well, when you split, do you want the tile with information to be on the bottom of the split or the top of the split? So any button with the kind of like a highlighted section, that just means that the current tile is going to be in that section. So where it's yellow up top, that means that if I split it horizontally, the day shift will be on the top. So let's split that. So now we have a blank tile down here. So I'm going to add 3 more shifts. I'm going to have my day shift up here. Now I'm going to do the same thing, daily schedule. I'm going to add my night shift, 300 seconds. Control night shift. Preview that. Apply and use. I'm just going to keep doing the same thing for the rest of my shifts. Maybe I'll put my detective shift on there. One final one. Let's do a record shift. Now I save and I exit. Now here's my, daily schedule. I'm showing the patrol day shift, the night shift, detective bureau shift, and the record shift all on my daily schedule. So you're just going to do this for all the shifts that you want to show in your daily schedule tab. You just keep repeating the process, and you split up the tiles. Also, we can adjust tile size if I hover over like one of the split lines. You'll notice I get this icon which allows me to resize the tiles. So do you have any questions regarding putting in a daily schedule tab? Well, if you don't have any questions, we'll keep going right along. So next, this is probably the most labor-intensive tab. The rest are easy. I'm going to click Add Tab from the main screen designer. And now I'm going to add my weekly schedule tab. So I'm going to type in weekly schedule. I click OK. Now I only need to add one tile, the weekly schedule tile. So I click Add Tile. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, find weekly schedule. Use a 300-second timer. Now down here it's asking, what groups do we want to show? So you could, if each department kind of has their own profile, you could just select the groups into that department. For me, I'm kind of doing like a master profile that shows, all shifts, everyone in it. So I'm going to click all so I can show all my groups. Then it's asking you, how do you want to sort? By alphabetic or by name, alphabetically, by group, or by rotation code? I recommend group. So it's going to show all my traffic people together, all my squad Ds together, Cs, and so on. Then it's asking you what what day does your week start, whether it's Sunday or Monday. I'm going to click Apply and Use, save, exit. Now here's what I'm talking about. All the admin people are grouped together. My records are grouped, so everyone within the same group is kind of shown together. And because my work week starts on a Sunday, Sunday is the first day that shows up here. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on. So that is our weekly schedule. Let's go back into edit mode. I'm going to add another tab. I'm going to do a monthly schedule. I get a monthly schedule tab. Let's add a monthly schedule tile. So we want to click on monthly schedule grid. That'll give us that nice grid view that we have in the weekly schedule. I think it's the easiest to read. So I recommend a monthly schedule grid. We do have several others. We have a monthly schedule by employee, which, like I said, that's employee specific. And then our monthly schedule is kind of like a calendar that shows everyone working. But if you have a lot of people working in your department, it could get a little clustered. I recommend the monthly schedule grid. We want to set a 300-second timer. And the last thing we need to do is just determine the groups that we want to show. I'm going to show all my groups, so I can just click all. If you're selecting specific groups, you just check the boxes next to the ones that you want to show. Here's a preview. Once I click apply, once again, it's organized based on group. And it's just showing, what they're working for the month. I'm going to click apply and use. And there it is, showing for each day of the current month, what people are working, if people are on time off or overtime. It's all showing. Now let's add the last one. I'm going to go back into edit mode. I'm going to add a yearly schedule. Or because it's employee specific, we can just call it a yearly calendar. Add a tile. 300-second timer. Apply and use. Save it and exit. So now I just select, who I want to see, and their schedule based on, the year is going to show up. So now, so that's as far as the screens that we're going to be adding today. That's it. I do just kind of want to go over some other functions we have on this main screen designer once we're in edit mode. You can move tabs over, so if you want to see maybe the weekly schedule before the daily schedule, just click on that tab that you want to move, and I can click Move Tab Left, and now weekly schedule comes before daily schedule. If you ever wanted to delete a tab, you could just click on it and then click Remove Tab, or if you want to edit the name, you just click Edit Name. Now, if you were doing a profile per, department, this is Department A's profile. If you click Add Profile, you start a brand new profile from scratch, and that might be Department B profile, however you want to do it. But just make sure whenever you exit edit mode, you click Save right there before you exit. If you forget to click Save and click Exit, it's going to ask you, you made changes, do you want to save? So it's kind of like a backup just in case, you close out without saving. So in a nutshell, that's really the basic, dashboard setup for the desktop application, which is one half of our training today. All we have left is the web dashboard setup. But do you have any questions about, creating a dashboard or how to add certain things? All right, we'll keep moving. So now the next thing we need to do is set up our web dashboard for our, the web portal side of the schedule, or the scheduling system, I should say. So now the web dashboard, it's just a daily schedule view, and we can create multiple dashboards that we can pick and choose who sees what. So kind of similar principle to having multiple profiles. Police department's only going to show, the handful of shifts that we tell it to. The records profile is only going to show, what we tell it to, and we can assign our employees, you only have access to this profile, and then another person only has access to another profile, so they only see what we tell the system they can see. So to set this web dashboard up, we need to go to the admin menu up top on this blue ribbon. We're going to click on Company Center, and then we're going to click on Web Dashboard. This is where we can set up our web dashboards. So as you can see, I have 3 currently in here. I have a default, a patrol profile for my web dashboard, and a VCS web dashboard, which I'm going to recreate this, so I'm going to delete that. And by the way, these options right here, they're pretty self-explanatory. If we wanted to rename a profile, we can just click Rename. If we want to add a new profile, we click New. If we want to remove one, we click Delete. And now with a profile, we can show up to 6 shifts at once. But, you might have more than 6 shifts you need to show. So what we would do is we would create another page. So if we want to add a page, we click Add Page, or if we want to remove a page, we click Delete. So I'm going to delete this one for now, and we're going to re-enter it. So now starting from scratch, we're going to click New. Now where it says Enter Scheme Name, that's just the name of the profile. So I'm just going to call this VCS Web Dashboard. Click OK. Now, like I said, we can put in up to 6 shifts per page. So, the first shift I want to show, I click Select Shift, and now here's a list of all my shifts. I select Patrol Day Shift here, and now as we can As you can see, here's a preview. We can tell it how we want it to sort. Do we want to sort it by, title rank and then employee seniority? Do we want to do it by title and then job assignment? I recommend title then seniority. So your higher ranking employees will be on the top of the list, and then it kind of just trickles down to lowest ranking. And I'm just going to keep on doing this for all the shifts that I want to show. I click select shift on the next section. I'm going to do night. Then I do detective. Now I'm just going to continue just putting in, shifts to fill up this page. So now, obviously I have more than 6 shifts I want to show. So what I'm going to need to do is click Add Page. And now here, my shifts all remain, but when I have a second page, I can put in, I'll add, records, supervisor, and then, maybe a training shift. Once I'm done, I click Save. Now, if you ever wanted to kind of remove a shift from a page, you can just click Select Shift, then click None, and then it kind of, empties that section out. Now that I'm done, I can click Save. And maybe now let's rename this one just to VCS. I click OK, and now it just says VCS. So that is, how you set up the web dashboard, very simple. And that's kind of the last thing we had to go over today. So do you have any questions about, how to set up a web dashboard, which, like I said, it's just the daily schedule for the website?
Nope.
So you're pretty good with putting in the dashboard for both the desktop and the web portal, and you kind of understand how you can have multiple dashboards within your system?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, like I said, what I showed you today, the web dashboard, that's really all there is to it. It's pretty cut and dry. But when it comes to the desktop applications, dashboard, you can add a lot. As you can see, I have more than just schedule showing. I have validation showing. I have, my daily roster. You could put in a tab just for time, showing time off entries or overtime entries. There's a whole bunch to choose from, and you would what I would recommend is just kind of going through the tile catalog and seeing what would most benefit benefit your department most as far as what's showing. Obviously, because what your department needs better than us. So, just kind of play around with the tabs while you're getting more familiar with the system, and to really determine, hey, this would be something good to show on a tab, or maybe we don't need to show a yearly schedule on the desktop. That's fine. I just showed you the basic scheduling tabs and tiles, just so when you actually add people to a schedule, you see them pop up on those shift tiles in real time. But if you don't have any questions, that's pretty much the end of the class.
I have one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
With our current system now, will they, when we convert to this new one, will they just come over the tiles how I have them now, and then I can adjust the current ones? Or will I have to create everything from scratch over?
Oh, you're migrating from legacy?
We're migrating, yep.
Oh, then no. They should just come over as long as you use the migration tools.
Okay. Which I guess, all right.
However you have it set up now, it'll come over like that.
And then I can just adjust it. All right.
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah, looks simple.
Yeah, if I knew you were going through legacy, I wouldn't have been so specific,
I'm sorry. That's all right.
Oh, no, 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 it's fine. I mean, it doesn't hurt to kind of rehear the information again. I kind of feel
Right.
that, you're sitting there, you already know what most of this stuff is. It just looks a little different. Um,
Yeah.
but no, that's fine. So if you're pretty good with, as far as making adjustments, and I mean, obviously you guys have been using the system, so you guys should have no problem setting it up.
Right.
It's very easy, as you've seen. And like I said, migrating over, it will carry whatever screens you already have in there. It moves it over
Right.
to the new system.
Do I have to create new things for the like the end user, or will everything will remain the same for them?
When you
Like like the people in my department, all they do is go in and schedule time. They'll still only see their one little tile for their
that's
department.
correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right, well, that's all I had for you. If you do kind of run into any problems or need any additional help, we do offer help outs, which is kind of like what we did today, where it's just one-on-one. But that's only because, the other attendee didn't show up. But a help out's just 45 minutes, one-on-one. We work directly on your system. And that's, like I said, if you need help doing something, if you forget how to do something, if you need kind of like department specific help in how to set something up, we could help out with all that. So we do have those sessions available as well.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Not a problem. Have a good day.
You too.